Hey, everybody. Glad you can make it. Pretty excited to have you meet Mike Klingler if you've never met him before. He's somebody that I've worked with for a while now. Consider him a master in marketing. He's had many years of 6 and 7 figure incomes that he's made with online marketing programs. And when we first started looking at this particular program, I was a little bit uh, leery at first, and then as we started really looking into the details of it, it turned out to be the type of a program that we tried creating a couple of years ago, and it just wasn't possible yet. So the technology is finally here, and if you match that with Mike's incredible skills in marketing and bring in some incredible people that know what they're doing to and have a heart for helping other people, this has really been a great program so far. We're pretty excited about it. So without any further ado, I'll turn it over to you, Mike. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for inviting me, Jeremy, and having us do, we've been doing a few of these lately because we want to get the word out. We want to share with people what we discovered and how we've done so well with it. But I think more importantly, how other people who've really struggled, many of them, to make anything and other opportunities, how well they're doing. That's what's really got us excited, because after COVID, a lot of people, whether they talk about it or not, are really hurting financially. And I don't know if everybody on the call realizes this, but inflation has really started to kick in. Now, the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and cryptocurrency can be a huge opportunity for people. But if you didn't get a lot of it already, how do you catch the ride, right? This is a way to be able to accumulate a lot of Ethereum, which you could turn into Bitcoin or anything else. For those that don't know, Ethereum is the #2 cryptocurrency behind Bitcoin. It's because of the Ethereum smart contracts that makes it the #2 most anticipated opportunities in crypto. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we begin, I just want to come back to something Jeremy said. He mentioned when I first mentioned this to him, he was a little bit wary at first. And in fact, I was too. And I said, hey, Jeremy, can you check this out? They're saying it's a decentralized smart contract, but I don't really have any way of knowing. I barely understood what that meant 4 weeks ago. And so I said, let's talk about this because they can say anything. But what are some ways that we can look at this and know if that's actually what this is? So we're going to talk about the importance of that. I just want you guys to understand, Jeremy was the first person I enrolled, and he was a big cynic really at first, because he's like he was saying here earlier, they tried to build something similar to this years ago, but the technology wasn't there yet. And he thought it still wasn't there. And then when he looked at this, he realized they had done it. And if you don't know the significance of that, of peer-to-peer payments and a decentralized, truly first time ever decentralized platform like this, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. That's why we're here. That's why people are doing so well, because whether they fully understand it or not, people are kind of getting it, in a big way. When I say kind of getting it, they're wrapping their heads around crypto, where it's going, why there's so much buzz and excitement around it. Now, some people totally get it and they're all over this. Others are like, it's kind of like the internet. You saw your first website, you're like, I don't understand how this is exactly going to work, but I could tell this could be big, and that's why this is going so well. So we're going to dig into some of this stuff, but that's what led us here. And since we got started 4 weeks ago, the results have been absolutely staggering, not just for ourselves, but for a number of others that have really struggled in business opportunities before. And that's why we're so excited. So let's look at this really quick. Again, it's not even a company. That's what's so wild. It's a paradigm shift. It's called Forsage. They created this Ethereum smart contract. But what's really important to understand, and we'll dig into this, you're not paying Forsage anything. They created the Ethereum smart contract, and it just operates kind of like the internet operates. You can't take it down. Nobody can take it down, and they can't change it. So it's really a paradigm shift. And that's, again, that kind of opens the door into why Ethereum is the #2 crypto. And again, we're all still wrapping our heads around it, just like we were wrapping our heads around what the internet could become before Google, before Yahoo, before Amazon. There was still the internet and a lot of excitement around it, but we were still wrapping our heads around it. The same things here. So we use examples to explain where it's going. Until you get in and start experiencing it, it's really hard to understand it. but we'll do our best. Just like in 1995, we would have done our best to help you see where the internet was going so you could take advantage of those opportunities. We're going to talk about a team building strategy. So just know you're not alone in making this happen. It's really important to understand. Now, as we talk about the team building strategy, listen carefully. It's team building. It's not us doing it for you. You're not going to put money into this, disappear, and get rich. It's not what this is. It's not an investment scheme. Forsage isn't taking your money and paying returns. They don't touch your money. They don't touch a cent, not for even a nanosecond. Peer-to-peer payments that we'll talk about means when we sell or you sell an Ethereum smart contract, that's immediately paid the way the compensation plan's written, with no third party, not even Forsage, touching it. The smart contract just works. So we'll get into that a little bit more, but just understand we do some team building. We help you get this going. We work together, but there's no guarantees of income. It's not an investment scheme, but people are doing extraordinarily well because of this team building strategy. We're going to show you what we mean. So let's talk a little bit about the significance behind all of this. I call it a phenomenon because it's sweeping across the opportunity world in a way I've never seen before. People that have struggled, as I was mentioning, in opportunity after opportunity, people who've tried creating funnels and affiliate marketing and network marketing who have really struggled to ever make anything are coming into this and doing extraordinarily well. And in addition to that, you have leaders that are called whales, people who have a lot of influence, getting totally swept away in the excitement of this as well, because they're understanding the impact and the significance of true decentralized peer-to-peer payments, which we'll talk about. This is an absolute phenomenon. I was in a primary company. I won't name the name of it. A lot of you might be in other opportunities. This doesn't need to replace that. I will continue building my primary opportunity. But as I told people, and I've always been a really focused person, I don't believe in chasing shiny objects. I do believe in multiple income streams, but I really caution people to not get distracted with opportunity after opportunity. And so people were pretty surprised. But this is a phenomenon. And as I told people, as a marketer or an entrepreneur, if you're not paying attention to the currents in the ocean and you're going to ignore them or fight them and just, completely be ignorant of truly significant opportunities, you're going to pay the price. So you really need to pay attention when something unique happens. And that's what this is. It's absolutely a phenomenon. So we talked about this. It's a phenomenon because it is a true decentralized Ethereum smart contract. That's what I asked Jeremy to verify for me. I knew he was a developer, a programmer. He had shared with me they'd actually, when I came to him, I didn't know this initially, but then he shared they'd tried to build one. As he was explaining, they probably did not pull it off. And then he went and studied it and said they did it. So what did they do? A decentralized smart contract means that Forsage and no people, no company is in control of it. Kind of like the internet. Nobody can just come in and turn the internet off. Nobody can come in and change the whole internet or how it works. It's just out there. You'd have to shut every computer system down to shut down the internet. The same thing is true for decentralized smart contracts. They can't be changed. And the fact that it's decentralized means the payments that are made are peer-to-peer. Forsage doesn't touch it. So I want you to really hear that. This is what is so extraordinary. This is historic. Forsage doesn't touch the money. The money is when someone buys an Ethereum smart contract, the money that is supposed to be paid to who it's supposed to be paid to happens automatically. Forsage can't touch it, can't influence it, can't change what happens. That's revolutionary. That removes all of the risks associated with business opportunities where companies did touch the money. You might have remembered a couple of years ago, and some of these programs still exist, where companies would promise if you put Bitcoin or cryptocurrency into their system, into their program, into their wallet, you would get paid returns. And you could even refer people and make money that way, and they could make money on returns. Big problem. When people started to pull the money out or the cryptocurrency out in large numbers, The company might be sitting on $500 million worth of people's cryptocurrency, and then they would run off with it and it would collapse. Very high risk. Never before was it possible for peer-to-peer payments to take place where no central entity is holding the cryptocurrency, touching it, influencing it whatsoever. The smart contract takes care of all of it. It can't be changed. It just runs and works like the internet. It can't be taken down. It is revolutionary. Now, again, Forsage never touches or holds your crypto or funds, ever. So people ask, well, what's the product? And this is the paradigm shift. You can answer this two ways. And let me just back up for a moment before I even answer this. When the internet was coming out, like in the early 90s, there were big investors putting a lot of money into it before anyone understood, before the mainstream understood what it was. And as it started to develop and evolve, and we started to use little rudimentary versions of it, and there was dial-up. Some of you remember the dial-up, right? And you would access sites, and some people would look at it and scratch their heads. And those of you who are old enough, like me and Jeremy are, will remember experts, right? Experts on the news on, legitimate financial programs. Jeremy, do you remember this? They'd be saying it's a bunch of hogwash. Nothing's ever going to come of this internet, this Amazon, this Google, this Yahoo. It's all a bunch of hot air. I remember hearing that over and over and over again. Funny thing is, I remember hearing that about Tesla Motors too in 2011. When it's a new concept and a new paradigm, it's difficult to describe the value, because until you've experienced going to a website, going to Amazon and purchasing something, you wouldn't understand why you would want something shipped in the mail when you can just go to the store and get it. You don't understand the value till you experience it and see it. There aren't really words or experiences you can relate to understand it. And this is similar. So people might ask, what's the product? My first answer will be, I'm going to give you two completely different answers to help you understand this paradigm shift. The first answer is, there's no business. Forsage isn't a business. It's not a company. So they are not taking anyone's money, and therefore they're not supplying a product, and they don't need to. That's what an Ethereum smart contract allows to happen. It allows for a value exchange between an individual purchasing the smart contract and receiving value, in this case, from a community. So that's one answer. The other answer is, if you need to understand it from the old paradigm of product, the product is purchasing the smart contract and the experience of the value you receive and the knowledge you gain once you do that. And you enter into this community of people who help you understand what's going on, how to get a wallet, how to change gas prices, which is the transaction fee, so you don't have to pay so much, not just for interacting with this, but with crypto forever forward. When you enter into this, and I think the best way I can communicate it is by relating to the value I received after I purchased the Ethereum smart contract. I've learned more about crypto in this last 4 weeks, and more about Ethereum and smart contracts, and in a way where I'll be able to recognize future opportunities and take advantage of them. I've learned far more in these last 4 weeks than I've learned in several years of reading articles, studying documentaries, watching videos. So there truly is a very significant value exchange, but it's in a completely different way that has ever been possible before. So you're ultimately purchasing the opportunity to experience the most advanced real-world application of the Ethereum smart contract to date. And you're gaining access to a community that supports one another in navigating the Ethereum and cryptocurrency landscape. So let's talk now about making money, bringing this smart contract technology to the world, because that's invariably what's happening on the larger scale as we're selling these Ethereum smart contracts, as people are engaging with the community and with the experience that's here. You're a part of educating the world about and preparing them for the opportunities that will come in the cryptocurrency world. So let's talk about some results that people are getting. And not all of these people, but most of these people have not had anything close to these results in any opportunities before. In fact, the first people I introduced this to were primarily people who needed a cash injection, who were struggling to make money in the programs that they were in, and have always struggled to make money. That was the first people I shared this with. And most of these people, not all, but most, have never had anything like this. In fact, most of these people have lost money in previous programs and opportunities, where here they made a profit in a very short period of time. Here in 12 days, Jordan shared, he made 1.175 ETH. He's since made much more. This was in his first 12 days. At the time he received it, that was $471. Ethereum has significantly gone up since then. So with all these examples that I'm sharing with you, remember the dollar amount is actually much, much higher now, because Ethereum's gone up significantly just in the last couple of weeks. Here's Deborah Cox, 1.4 Ethereum, which at the time she received it was $572, now much, much more. And remember, a lot of these people benefited from the team building strategy. And I'm going to get to that a little bit later. So you're not on your own in creating these results. Just remember, when I say that, it's called team building strategy, and not, purchase the smart contract and disappear and expect to get rich. We expect you to contribute to the process, but these results are certainly being impacted by this team building strategy in a big way that we'll talk about a little bit later on. Here's Dee. She goes, the awesome thing about mine is, yes, I have one person under me, but $612 I received within 24 hours of signing up, and it all came from overflow on X4. So again, no guarantees that that's going to happen for everybody, but it happened for D. And in this case, 1.7 ETH, $682, and that happened in 24 hours. Michelle, about 2 weeks, 2.6 ETH, over $1,000. And again, it's much, much higher than that now because ETH goes up. I'm not going to play the role of financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, and I can't tell you guys, go buy Ethereum. I can't tell you what's going to happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I will encourage you to do your research. And a lot of you who have certainly heard a lot of reputable sources talking about how high Ethereum is going to go. D. Hergenritter, 19 days, 3.15 ETH, over $1,200, 19 days. And again, much more because ETH has gone up. Tim, 4.2 ETH in 2 weeks, $1,700, and actually much, much more than that now. Rich, 8.4 ETH in 3 weeks that he generated. That was over $3,300, and it's much, much more now. 7.55 ETH for Ed Cox. I've worked with Ed Cox in our primary program, and he's in real estate. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He understands sales and all kinds of things, but he wasn't able to get anything close to these results in our primary program. That doesn't mean our primary program isn't an awesome opportunity. It's just a lot of the opportunities you guys are with take a lot longer to build, right? Because you're competing in an existing paradigm. You're competing on products and all kinds of things that have existed for a long time. And to stand out and be unique in that marketplace is very challenging, because this is leveraging the buzz and excitement around the first ever Ethereum smart contract to have true peer-to-peer payments on a truly decentralized platform. And even if the mainstream doesn't understand that, they can see that Ethereum's the #2 cryptocurrency right behind Bitcoin. People are putting 2 and 2 together, kind of like some people, not all of us, right? But some people were able to do that back in the 90s and take advantage of those big companies like Amazon and Google. Some people didn't fully understand what was going on with the internet, but they saw enough. The same thing's happening here. It's creating this massive buzz. So people like Ed Cox are stepping into this thing, leveraging that buzz in the moment and getting these incredible results. Here's Kim Davis. She's worked for the post office all her life. She has a high-level administrative position, which may sound great. The problem is they make her work 80 hours a week, and she doesn't really get paid anything worth what she should for the work that she's had to put in. This is a huge deal. 14 days, almost 12 Ethereum, 4,600 cash at the time that she received it, now well over 5,000. Aaron, 18 days, 12.7 ETH, over 5 grand. Guys, these aren't just people I'm pulling randomly out of the air. These are people that I've worked with in other programs. I know their past experience and past results with your typical kind of opportunities. They haven't seen anything ever like this before. Here's John Melcher, 13 days, over 17 Ethereum, well over 7 grand, now much more because it's gone up. Oldest shared in our group. And by the way, I just sent a message in our group and I said, guys, can you just share some of the results you're getting, take a snapshot, share what's going on? And this is what we got back. And I'm only going to show you a fraction of what we got back. Here's Oldest. I don't know if it's okay, he said. I don't know if it's okay to share it, But I like this new part-time project. Here are my first 6-day results, over 18 ETH, over 7 grand in 6 days. Here's Tony Pete, 17 days, over 21 ETH, getting close to 10 grand. Jeremy, who's on the call today, about 3 weeks, almost 61 Ethereum. Pretty incredible, right? And, he was the first person I enrolled, so he had the most time in the program. And we ran, he understood what this was. Remember, he had put countless hours years ago into trying to build a decentralized platform with Bitcoin. And then after countless hours and, long hours, long nights, realized they couldn't do it. So when he saw that they pulled it off, he ran. And so if you put a little juice into this, pretty insane results that we're seeing. Michael Glass, about 3 weeks as well, over 65 ETH. That was 26 grand when he received it. Now that's well over 30 grand because it's gone up in the last couple of weeks. Robert Taylor, 23 days, 75 ETH, over 30 grand. Absolutely incredible. And I know he has never seen anything ever like that. And he's tried for years to make money in different programs. This is a first. My son's position, this was just, I think, 3 weeks in, 79 ETH. My daughter's position, I told her, let's sign you up and see if we can help you pay for your college tuition. I had no idea we'd pay for it in a couple of weeks. 116 ETH, now well over 50 grand. So guys, my point, I could go on and on. My point is, not only is it working, the scale and speed in which it's helping give people a cash injection is unprecedented. I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. I was in network marketing. I started network marketing in my early 20s, well over 25 years ago. I was very focused, very driven, and I made enough to have a full-time income in my 20s. I then went into affiliate marketing, and at one time I was probably the top 5 earners in the world in affiliate marketing. Back like in 2007, 2008, we had a launch where we did $1 million in a day. We'd prepared for that launch. We taught internet marketing. We taught all kinds of things. So I've been around the block a few times. I've seen opportunities. I've thrown myself into opportunities. I've trained people in opportunities. I have never seen anything that even touched, not even close touched, what this can do and what it's doing for people who've never had results or success before. But here's the bigger deal. It is also at the same time the least risk. It's the least risk I have ever seen an opportunity have. And again, a paradigm shift can create things like that. A completely new innovation can create things like that. And to ignore it as an entrepreneur, no matter how focused I like to be, would be absolutely ignorant on my part. So as focused as I like to be, and as hard as it is to pull my attention away from something that I'm doing, this has gotten my attention. I'm glad it did, because we're changing people's lives. I'm going to go inside the platform now and kind of share how it works and kind of explain the 2 different compensation structures associated with it. And there will be some additional videos, if you haven't already watched them, that are only 11 minutes long in total that you could watch after this to kind of go over this again. But just to kind of run through it really quick, there's 2 different compensation structures. There's the X3, and if we scroll down here, there's the X4. And they're both paying you, separately, like on top of each other. Let's look at the X3 first. It's a little simpler. So if you purchase position 1, which is only 0.025 ETH, that you're purchasing that part of the smart contract, you're going to have what we call position 1. And then you can sell position 1. And when you sell position 1, or you could have your team helping you sell position 1. Your team works together to do that. And we'll talk about that team building strategy a little bit later. When the smart contract is sold, your first one will go here. Whether you sold it or your team did, it'll go here in this first position, and you'll get paid 0.025 ETH as well. So you just made back what it cost very quickly, right? Even if your team helped you do it. Your second position will go here, the second smart contract sale. And then the third, you see this little cycling, this might be a little small, but this little recycle shows that that third will pass up line. And this starts over, they all turn blank again. In fact, if we look at position 6 over here on the right, you'll see that they're all blank. All these circles are blank. That's because the last one's recycled. If I click on this, we're going to see the whole history of all of the sales. You're going to notice the first one's down here at the bottom on October 15th, and it paid 0.8 ETH, $321 at the time, or actually I think that is now prices. On October 15th, it did it again, and it paid me another 0.8 ETH, $321. And then the next day on the 16th, someone purchased position 6 in the smart contract. It says reopen. That means it cycled upline. And so you can see there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total payments that happened, and I was paid on the first one, the second one, the third one cycled. I was paid on the fourth one, the fifth one, and the sixth one cycled. So if we go back to this main page, that's why they're all blank now, because it paid me here, here, then it cycled, just like we saw, then it paid me again here, here, and then it cycled again. So now it's prepared to pay me again on the next payment. So again, I'm going to refer you to a video, 2 videos, in fact, that total just 11 minutes. If you haven't watched those, that go through this again, just this part of it. But I wanted to take a little bit of time to explain how this worked. So you can only get paid on whatever position you purchased in the smart contract. But here's what's cool. If you had to start at position 1, which for those that don't know is less than $25 of Ethereum, extremely low cost to get started if you had to start there. Now, some people I started at position 6. So I bought in the smart contract, I bought positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I also bought those positions in the X4, which we'll talk about in a minute. I started there because I wanted to earn more Ethereum faster. And I was able to sell other positions up to level 6 to other people. And so I was able to generate a lot more Ethereum faster. But if you can't start there, if all you've got is 25 bucks of Ethereum, you can start there. And with your first sale, whether you made it or your team made it, that's going to generate your Ethereum back already. With your second sale, you're in profit. And now you can go to position 2 using the money you earned. And so that's why we have a lot of people who started really low. There's people who started, I know somebody from Nigeria who started at position 1, who's now, I don't know which level exactly he's at now. Last I heard, he was in the 8 or 9 range. I personally have people that I enrolled somewhere around position 3, and they're now at 9 and 10. So it's quite remarkable that you start from where you're comfortable, you start from where you can afford without overextending, without a lot of risk to you and your family at all. And then with the team building strategy, you stair step your way. You can go all the way to 12 without any more out-of-pocket expense, which is paying 51 ETH for those that do the same, which is quite remarkable that you can start that low and work your way up with the team building strategy. I started at 6, and you can see I'm now at 11. I didn't use any of my own money to get from 6 to 11. I built with the team. I was helping the team. And through the sales of the Ethereum smart contracts, I was able to work my way up to 11 and make a huge significant profit. Now let's talk about the X4, because this is paying you also at the same time. So let's just talk about position 1. Let's say you start at position 1. And by the way, when I say $25 worth of ETH, that's purchasing position 1 in the X3 and giving you a position in position 1 in the X4, which is pretty amazing. So I kind of misspoke there. It's actually about $12 or so just for X3. But when you purchase X3 in position 1, you're automatically also purchasing X4, which is about $25. Very, very low to be able to start there and work your way all the way up with the team building strategy. It's pretty amazing. So in the X4, it's a little bit more comprehensive. It allows you to make more payments and allows you to leverage more of the team build than the X3, but there's a little bit of delayed gratification with this one. So here's what I mean. You start at position 1, let's say that's where you started, and the first sale, whether you made it or your team made it, is going to end up here. If you can see this, that's top left corner, and you will not get paid anything on that in the X4. You will have gotten paid in the X3, like I talked about, but in the X4, at that point, that gets passed upline. Now, when somebody makes a sale underneath that person on your second level, which is right here, you will get paid in the X4, 0.025 ETH. So here's how this works. This position and this position, these two top positions, you do not get paid on, they get passed upline, and then you get paid on the third, fourth, and fifth payment, whether you made them or your team made them. And then your sixth payment gets passed upline. And let's go look at the history so we can look at this a little bit more closely. You'll notice that it's showing the history here, and it's saying cycle 2. So this is showing where it's at now, but let me hit this down arrow, and it's going to go and say cycle 1 of 2. And if I hit the down arrow one more time, it's going to say 0 of 2. So this was the original layout. And then so 0 of 2, if I hit the up arrow, it's going to show what happened next. Let's look down here. This is actually an itemized account of everything that happened that can put this in perspective. So let's explain it this way. On October 15th, by the way, these little flags that are coming up here is showing you real payments that are happening to people right now. Someone just got paid $641 right now. That's what this is. This is happening live. This is real. So when you see this light up, that's what's going on. It's notifying you that someone just got a payment. It's showing you how much. So here on October 15th, and it's kind of blocking it there, October 15th, it says higher. That's because this position filled in, so it got passed upline, just like I was talking about. This is the X4. The second purchase also happened on October 15th, and it also says higher because that was here, and that also got passed upline. But you'll notice the next one the next day says I got paid on the 16th. That's the third payment, and that was 967719. That landed right here. So because they must have come in under this person here. So I got paid that. Then the fourth payment right here is 967743. That happened right here. So I got paid that because that's the first, second, third, fourth payment. Remember, I get paid on the third, fourth, and fifth payment. And I bet the next number is 968519. It is. So another payment that day. That was this one. And then the last one, which ended up here, the sixth payment, it's going to show that it rolled upline. You see here it says October 17th, reopen. When that happened, when that first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth payment happened, that was here. That's why it's shaded, because it means I didn't get paid on it. It rolled upline. And now if I go back or I go up one in the history, and then it started all over again, and then I got these payments. So just remember, if you don't follow that, just follow, I'll just run through it really quick one more time. 1 second here. I'm going to go back to that main page. And I just want to point out one more time. The first position here rolls upline, the second position rolls upline, third, fourth, and fifth payment in whichever order you get paid on, and then the sixth final payment, it recycles, they all hit 0 or they all hit blank again, and it all starts over, and it can cycle many, many, many times. So what creates the cycling is when people in your team are making sales and they're rolling up to you, right? And also when you create new legs, if you were to go further than 2 wide, that creates more cycling. And so by you building wide, or by your team passing payments up, because a lot of these are rolling up, right? Rolling up to you, that creates the cycling as well. So you can watch a couple of videos, they're 11 minutes long. I'll talk about those at the end of this. You can get them from the person who referred you here, and we'll kind of go over all that again. But just understand, this can pay infinite levels deep. And I'll talk a little bit at the end of this about the team building strategy that I've referenced, where your team is helping you do all of this. You're not alone in creating all of this. Which is really, really spectacular. So going back to these slides real quick, something else I want to show you that's super cool. I don't know if you've heard of Telegram, but it's an application, super easy to download. You get help with all of this, super easy. You get notifications, very similar to the ones that were flashing on the site, but you get them in Telegram, letting you know what's going on. So I just pulled a couple of them out. October 31st, it says payment was sent to your upline. And it says program X4. Remember I talked about the X3 compensation plan and the X4 compensation plan we just went over? This is saying in the X4, someone purchased position 1, and that was passed to your upline. Like we talked about, some of the payments are passed to the upline. And you want that because that's how your team, as you are supporting your team, or your team's growing in your organization, payments are passing up to you. Now, on the same day, October 31st, I got another notification, says you received a profit, $1,232, 3.2 ETH. That's actually a lot more ETH now. as it's gone up in the last couple of weeks. So, you start getting these notifications. It's pretty exciting. And it tells me this was in the X3, the first compensation plan I showed you, position 8. Someone purchased position 8 of the smart contract, and I got paid 3.2 ETH. Pretty spectacular. November 4th, I didn't show you all of them. I just wanted to show you some of these. November 4th, it says reinvest. The payment was sent to your upline. So this is another scenario where a payment was passed to my upline. It says in the X4, position 4. That's okay. November 6th, payment was sent to your upline. And it was a big one. That was platform 8. So I think that was 3.2 ETH. That's okay. You want everybody on the team to win. Same day, here's some big news. November 6th, you received a profit over $5,000, 12.8 ETH, because someone bought position 10 in the X4. November 7th, I got a notification. You received a profit of $10. These are just happening all the time as your team starts to grow. You received a profit on the same day, $2,500, 6.4 ETH, because they purchased position 9 in the X3. November 8th, you received a profit of $20. So I just want you to understand that, as you make sales, as your team makes sales, and I'll talk about the team building strategy in a minute, you're getting all these notifications of the sales taking place. You can log into the site and see it, but just remember, the payments are being made in your wallet, not inside Forsage's wallet, not inside a wallet that you have to log into Forsage to see. It's immediately, this is the power of the decentralized Ethereum smart contract that's a first in history. The payment is immediately being made and paid into your wallet outside Forsage, your actual wallet. That's a first, it's unprecedented, and it's powerful, and it's what makes this extremely low risk beyond anything I've ever seen before. This is lower risk than a typical network marketing opportunity because there's no auto orders or anything, and you can start for as little as $25 worth of ETH and work your way up with the team building strategy to the top that way. It's incredible. Let's talk a little bit about that team building strategy. So, this is all about helping others make Ethereum. If you put the focus on others, you're going to do really, really well here. So to put kind of into perspective, another way of sharing what I just did, this is you. And just remember, once you have 2 positions directly underneath you, you now have earned enough to upgrade to the next position without any out-of-pocket expense from you. So if you came in at position 6, then I'll talk a little bit about this at the end. If you came in at position 6, then the team is helping you get other position 6 sales in your team like this. And you would now be able to go to 7 without any more out-of-pocket expense, so that when sales are made at position 7, you now get paid. If you had to come in at position 1, maybe you live in an economy somewhere in the world where that's the only place you could possibly start is position 1. $25 might be all you can do. That's okay. We would put you in a line. We call it the slow lane, but that's not a bad thing. It's just a slower path to earning the biggie. But if that's where you needed to start, you'd be at position 1, and the team would be working with you to get position 1s here and here. You would now earn enough Ethereum to go to position 2 without any more out-of-pocket expense to you. It's pretty phenomenal. And this is why we're doing so well, guys. It's the teamwork that's really unique to our team that's created these incredible results. Here's another way that can happen. This is you, and the team is working with you to get a sale directly underneath you, so you get paid in the X3, and then another sale directly underneath them, which is cool because then they got paid in the X3 and you get paid in the X4 on this one. And that's another way you can now upgrade to the next position without any out-of-pocket expense to you. So again, what I let people know is start from where you can without you taking a big financial risk to you and your family. Because maybe the internet will stop working tomorrow. That's about what it would take for this thing to end. Or someday the buzz of this is going to end. The excitement of Ethereum and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will move to a new level. It might be a while, but someday that will happen. And so, we want to share with people that anything can happen. Don't come in at a high position if that's going to stress you out. Come in where you're comfortable. Make that decision based on where you're at, and then never put anything more in. Don't buy any more smart contracts with your own money. And from wherever you start, whether it's position 1, position 3, or position 6, leverage the team building strategy, work with your team to get these sales going, And this is how fast you're able to upgrade to the next position. And we just keep building and you keep making ETH, upgrading to higher and higher positions, and you're getting paid more and more Ethereum as you do. And as you're contributing to the team, of course, you can take some of that Ethereum while you're stair stepping all the way to 12, where you can get paid 50 Ethereum per sale. So the team building strategy I described this way: there's a slow lane, a middle lane, and a fast lane. And if you need to start in the slow lane, that's where you start. That's positions 1 or 2. And so we begin there, and we'll send an affiliate link to you to start in that lane. And the team works with you to build positions 1 or 2 in your team so that you can stair step your way all the way to the top without any out of pocket expense to you. The middle lane is positions 3, 4, or 5. And if you start there, then your team works with you to place those at positions 3, 4, or 5 in your sales team. And that's going to allow you to stair step, a little bit faster, because you may make more ETH at those higher positions in the smart contract. The fast lane, if you can afford to come in at position 6, 7, or 8, you go in the fast lane, we send you a different link, and the team works together to help you start building from there. It's faster because you're now earning a lot more ETH as your starting point. So guys, it's not complicated. As long as you understand that cryptocurrency is obviously here to stay. There's going to be some people out there, we call them the gold bugs, right? There's some people out there that say, no, gold is the investment opportunity to fight inflation. Cryptocurrency is going to, but guys, the writing's on the wall. PayPal just came out with their own cryptocurrency wallet. Like, it's pretty hard to argue that this has become adopted by the mainstream. I would say that this is now about where the internet was in 1996. It's still, you go online, you got dial up. It's not super obvious how this is going to be valuable in the real world market. But if you have a little bit of intuitive sense, when you think back to that opportunity, and a lot of you might have missed it, maybe you didn't invest in Google, maybe you didn't invest in Amazon, but you saw all that happen and you're seeing enough now to intuitively know, kind of looks like the same thing. Bitcoin clearly continues to grow strong. Ethereum's the number 2 right behind Bitcoin. You do a little bit of research, you're going to find that many of the experts, again, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not saying this is true or not. I'm not telling you what to do with crypto. I'm just saying, if you do your own research, you're going to verify that a lot of the experts are saying Ethereum has the opportunity to go up even higher percentage-wise than Bitcoin, just because of where they're at right now. Ethereum being the number 2 biggest cryptocurrency kind of says it all. And people talk about, well, the gas prices, the transaction fees can be high on busy days. Yeah, that's a good thing. That means people are using it. That's why that's the case. And the opportunity is here now to want to get as much Ethereum as you can, because it's not perfect yet. It's still the pioneering days. When they come out with more and more advanced versions of Ethereum and those gas prices, those transaction fees go way down, my belief is, you want to have already gotten a bunch of Ethereum before that happens, obviously. So if you already know, I'm not here to sell you on the idea that you want crypto. I'm not here to sell you on the idea that Bitcoin's going to continue to rise and Ethereum's going to continue to follow. I'm not here to sell you on the idea that cryptocurrency is here to stay and it's just going to become a bigger and bigger investment opportunity as we go forward. I'm here to say that if you kind of intuitively see that already, here's an opportunity to get a lot of cryptocurrency through Ethereum, the number 2 crypto, really, really quickly. If you work with your team and you contribute to the team, you're going to do phenomenally well. So with that said, Jeremy, I think we'll wrap it up, and I'll just say, get with the person who referred you to this, ask to watch the videos. They're about 11 minutes long that break all this down in a really quick summary. And if you have any questions, let them know what position you want to come in at. And that's all you got to do, is start there, work with your team to start building to the top, to the position 12, where you can make over 50 Ethereum per sale, and you don't have to use any of your own out-of-pocket expense once you choose your starting point. Anything you want to say to wrap up and close, Jeremy?
That was great, Mike. Thanks. I appreciate you spending some time going through that. Yeah, it's amazing how many people, what type of a business can you get into where with 2 customers, you've made all your money back, right? I mean, that's just crazy to think about. So, and with the team building strategy, we've seen a lot of people who, like you said, have really struggled in the past, make their money back and then some,
and then some
in a pretty quick manner. So it's been a lot of fun. So
Been a
thank
lot
you.
of fun. And for those scratching their head going, but what's the point beyond just making money? Guys, I've learned more about Ethereum and smart contracts and cryptocurrency in the last 4 weeks than I learned from countless hours sitting watching videos, even videos that I paid for. It is incredibly valuable, this experience. So it's just hard to describe that value until you've experienced it yourself, just like it would have been hard to describe the experience of the internet until you actually sat down and experienced where it's at today. Same thing here.
Yeah, you can either try to figure it all out on your own, or you can come into a community of people who are there to help you figure it all out. So
Absolutely.
that's nice.
All right, guys, get with the person referred you, asked to watch those videos I referenced. They're about 11 minutes long. Just say, I'd like to see those videos Mike was talking about, and let them know what position you want to come in at. And let's have you be the success story I'm sharing on the next webinar. All right, good night, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.